Hi, I'm Jim Finn and I'm here with Mr. Tim Rogers here at Homebake. Thanks very much for joining us.
Pleasure, my man.
Now you've just come off stage not too long ago. How many Homebakes is this for you now? If you can remember.
I think about 4 or 5.
4 or 5, right?
Yeah.
How did this one compare to the others that you've played?
Wasn't it wonderful where you can come back to somewhere you've been before and have a different experience? It was good, it was messy, and some songs felt great and others were just remembering on the spot. I'm sort of a little proud that we didn't rehearse at all.
Is there a certain feeling of nostalgia coming back to a place like this
No,
that you've
no,
been
no.
so many times?
No, I think now that the nostalgia seems so quick these days. I seem to get asked at the moment, what was it like in the 90s? This seems like, isn't that too close back? I remember asking my parents about clubs in Melbourne in the mid-60s, and their response would be, "Oh, why do you want to know about it?" And because I was obsessed with the rhythm and blues and rock and roll music of the mid-60s, and they were, but it must have been amazing, and they were kind of embarrassed about it. And so no, I don't feel nostalgia at all. I don't know whether I'm really stretching the analogy there, but no nostalgia at all. Just about the next show. I mean, I've got another show with the Bamboos coming up, and so I'm just sort of thinking about that.
How's it all going with the Bamboos? It seems to be a mix that's working really well.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, we're from different musical backgrounds, and I think they like the fact that I'm quite loose, and they're really not loose. They're great, but they're loose people. They're loose people who play tight.
Does that help on tour, being loose people?
Well,
help the bonds between...
have you ever been out on the road and you take someone who hasn't been out on the road before?
Yes.
And they go insane after 2 days, and they go potty.
Unless you sort of help them through it, they don't really remember it because of the way you initiated them.
You try and help people through it, but it's not even the, hey man, we got really inebriated, or just that everyone's just looking for their own little bit of comfort,
Yeah.
So the great thing playing with them or playing with you or my or the band I'm touring with is that you get real loose and in for experience and seeing what can happen, but at a time when you really need to look out for each other, you actually do. And
when you're locked out of your hotel and things like that, just give them a couch to sleep on in your room.
And then you sort of set their genitals on fire, and
that's the sort of looking out that we're talking about.
First of all, but then you have a bucket of water anyway.
You're like, that was the joke. Welcome to the tour.
Yeah, the touring life. It's when running into, I guess, things like this. I've been touring for about 25 years, and when you see younger bands and that you may not know of, but you've heard the name and go, oh, I think they're them, and you may inadvertently run into each other, and seeing the way people do things in backstage areas, and how you treat crew and things. And like today, we don't have a crew. If you know a band, if they're being fucked to their crew, and it's like they're just fuckwits for all time.
Do you find that the younger bands coming through now, being backstage at festivals like this, the younger bands are acting a bit differently to how other bands were back when you started?
I'm not sure. I don't really know. The haircuts are different, and
the clothes.
Yeah.
The technology of microphones. And
there's a lot more. There's a lot more attention to, I guess, having a lot more pre-recorded sound, but then again, other bands aren't. So no, there's not a difference at all.
What do you think about the whole thing now, where it seems to be quite common and acceptable to use backing tracks when you play live?
I'd be embarrassed by it. But you know, some bands use it really well, and when it's used well, I mean, I listen to music and I fucking enjoy. And if I'm listening to something that's just that it involves a backing track, and I'm loving it, I don't care. I can't afford to have a backing. No, actually, I haven't got the. There's a part of me that will always think that that's kind of being a suckhole, but.
Do you think it kind of takes the live experience and makes it not so live anymore because the band isn't actually playing it all live?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
they can't sort of change their song to the crowd.
There's a part of me that thinks that, but then I wake up and remember that, you know, well, hell, I'm playing amplified music, and there's something non-natural about that as well.
That's true.
So
perhaps Mozart would have looked at you as the same way you look at backing tracks.
He looked at me like a bitch. Yeah,
he wasn't a fan.
He wasn't a fan at all. But yeah, there's I go through those vacillations of thinking that, you know, backing tracks, what are you, wuss bags? But then I say that about someone's trousers as well. So that's time to slap myself in the face and remember I'm 43 and I'm not 23, so I should shut the mouth and go and take my drugs and do my thing, you know.
So lift up your snifters and cross your chest. Inhale your thumbnail, there's no option yet. Never there in the crunch, but what did I suppose?
How much, when you do have a good performance and you go away feeling great about a show, how much of that is the crowd reaction and how much of that is how well you played and your energy as well?
90% how well the band played. Yeah, if you look into the crowd, you're doing the wrong thing. And there are bands who, I'm sure that's the inverse, and I love to hear that and learn from that. But no, with me, maybe I'm egocentric. It's all about myself. And if the crowd react wonderfully, but honestly, if you have a great show with the band, with you and I, or with what I do, or whatever, if you have a great show amongst yourselves, then you almost don't notice the crowd.
Yeah.
And you think that's rather than looking out and going, clap your hands. It's almost the better part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Almost. I'm really glad that other people don't think the same, or that everybody thinks the same. Because, you know, we need people to go out there and go, clap your hands.
Put your hands to the sky.
Yeah. So it's great about, I guess, about things like this, and particularly with, you know, underage kids and come take a pic of that and a pic of that. You know, I was backstage meeting Chris Bailey of the Saints. He's a hero of mine. You know, 43 and you never stop getting knocked out by amazing little kismet, coincidental things that happen, you know. Andy Kent, you and my bass player over there, my manager.
Oh, wow.
My beautiful mate. And he's standing there. You know, what a day.
It's not a bad day. Well, thank you very much for joining us and having a chat to us.
Jim.
Cheers.
Lovely to meet you.
Mr. Tim Rogers.